Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. We are checking out a very cool Corvette here. This is a 25th anniversary edition from 1978, and it's a survivor. This car has all original stuff on it. You look under the hood and you can see that it's showing the years, but it's still in really good shape. There's hose clamps on here that are authentic here. You can see this rusted one here, and we've got a couple other hose clamps on the fuel line, and right here we have replaced the traditional worm gear clamp with a Clamp-Tite clamp, and that is made from wire. Now, Sonora is here from Clamp-Tite. Sonora, I've got to know, why would you want to use a Clamp-Tite clamp instead of one of the traditional clamps on a fix like this?
It's actually better. It's the right size, it holds more pressure, and it's just a better fit.
Well, you're looking here at the traditional type hose clamps here. This is a tower clamp like that they used in the old days, and those and the worm gear clamps that we're used to put pressure just on one side, so it ends up sort of being an oval. So if you've got a fuel line or something, you're going to get some leakage there potentially, and especially high pressure lines, you're going to have issues too. And if you're looking at the Clamp-Tite clamp, this is something we did on a previous show. You can look here and see just how perfect that seal is all the way around. You are making a perfectly round seal, 360 degrees around, and you do the same thing on this little hose here as well. So once you get the Clamp-Tite clamp on there, you can actually, if you want to put the car in a show, you can take your tower clamp and actually put it over the Clamp-Tite clamp, and no one will be any the wiser. You've got a better seal under there, and you've got a clamp that looks authentic, which is way cool. We talked about how Clamp-Tite can be great for your car for some fixes, but there's all other kinds of fixes. It's super handy. You keep it in your glove compartment, keep it in your boat. This is a marine application right here. You don't want your lines to chafe, so put the tubing around it and fix it with a Clamp-Tite tool. I mean, how strong are we talking for Clamp-Tite's grip?
It's like thousands of pounds. It's pretty impressive.
I mean, this one blew me away. This is actually a splice on a hose that broke, and there's a little piece in between to make sure it stays sealed. And I can't pull that apart. You've got two pieces of hose, and there's no way. And to show that too, on a rope like that, it's super, super strong. And here's a story I love. This one has some history to it. So this handle was split, and it's been fixed with a number of Clamp-Tite clamps. What's the story of this hammer?
It's my dad's.
Oh, very cool.
And so we fixed it with the Clamp-Tite.
Only appropriate since he invented the tool as well.
So I saved it forever.
I love it. That's one to hold on to, and you've been using it ever since too, so it's going to hold up to a beating here. Now, we've seen the versatility of the different clamps you can make, and you can use different wire with Clamp-Tite tool. What wire do you recommend first of all, if in an optimal condition?
A good stainless steel wire.
So we're talking these wires down here.
This is a tie wire. These are tie wires, and this is a coat hanger. Be careful with copper because it's real soft, and so it stretches very easily, but it'll still get you home typically.
You can use it, that's for sure. Now, how easy is it to put on a Clamp-Tite clamp? What's the procedure?
All you do is you measure your wire, find the middle, fold it in half, go through the loop once, and then a second time the same direction, and then grab your ends, connect the wire to the tool, tighten it up, and then pivot it over. And it does come with easy to follow instructions, and we have videos, so you're not going to get lost.
What about confined spaces? What can you do for folks that need to get into a tight spot?
There's different ways that you can use it, but we did come up with the Mini, and this is about half the size of the other one, and it is great to get in those tight spots.
We mentioned all these fixes you can do with a Clamp-Tite tool, but some folks are actually using them on new builds because they love the way they look, and they love the fact they're getting a super tight seal and a quality seal that's going to last forever.
And they can do kind of trippy things with the wire, and it's their signature.
With Clamp-Tite, you have the perfect size hose clamp every single time, and it is a clamp that is going to last for a long, long time. You can reuse it too. By the way, you can find out more at ClampTiteTools.com. And you can find more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com when we come back, so don't go anywhere. Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, Shade Wagon, throw some shade, and by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. You know, when it comes to roof racks, you're going to get one that looks great but doesn't do a whole lot. or one that doesn't look very good but it's very utilitarian? Well, I'll tell you what, our friends at Goby Racks have this problem solved. Form meets function when it comes to Goby Racks. Jade, tell me what makes Goby's racks different and better.
Absolutely. So first off, we've been around for over 2 decades, so we know the game. Our biggest thing is we are non-modular, fully welded roof rack. So when you come to those washable roads, you won't have any shifting of screws, no movement of the rack. You'll be totally okay. Long time comes for this rack.
And how does it actually mount to the vehicle?
It is all non-drill, so it's going to be into the OEM holes of what comes on your vehicle, no matter what vehicle it is, Bronco, 4Runner, Jeep, anything.
I'm pretty sure that's the first question you get all the time. And probably the second one is, how much weight does it hold?
So you can actually point load it at 250 pounds. You can stand directly on it at that weight. And then it's got an 800-pound static load and a 300-pound dynamic load. So we've got you covered in weight no matter what you put on the vehicle.
And how do you make sure that all that weight, all that gear stays where it needs to be?
Well, we have a raised edge, and we have it a low profile for this is the Stealth rack, and then we also have a Ranger rack, which is a couple inches taller, more of a basket style. So no matter how fast you're driving, or if you slam on those brakes, your gear is not going to move.
And why would one choose the Ranger rack over the Stealth?
It's purely preference or aesthetics, just to what one might want on it, whether you're doing a rooftop tent or you're just putting cargo boxes on there or anything along those lines.
Goby Racks thought of everything, and I know a lot of folks are serious off-roaders, which means you're going to have a light bar or a rack to hold the lights. So what are the different options when it comes to mounting those on the vehicle?
So these two are our multi-light setup, so you can put a light bar or you can do individual lights, and we make light brackets for those as well. Or we have a 40-inch LED setup where you can put a straight light bar, which insets it. And that also allows you to have an option of a no riser, which decreases the rack size in the front, and you can lay something completely flat across it. So if you had a longer rooftop tent or you wanted to put canoes or kayaks completely flat on the rack, you're able to do so.
So with the existing equipment you might already have, Goby plays nicely with what you've already got on your vehicle.
Yeah.
Very cool. And one thing that I really like when it comes to mounting the lights, I see a couple little plugs there. And I think that's a great feature.
Yeah, so you can actually remove those plugs and feed the wiring through any of your lights through the tubing, and you can go in through the firewall from there. So it won't be exposed to elements, no snow, no sunlight, no deterioration of those wires.
Goby racks are super strong, as you've talked about, which is surprising because you see big spans there and the tubes there, but the tubes also serve a purpose, that tubular design, when it comes to airflow.
Yeah, absolutely. So because of those spaces, it allows any of the debris sitting up there or any snow to be removed off the roof. So you won't have any problem with rusting on the top of your roof line, which a lot of people aren't able to reach or is enclosed when you have a modular roof rack.
Maybe you get a little surprised when you climb up on the roof and you see all the rust that's accumulated on your old roof rack.
Yeah, unfortunately. But with ours, you won't have that problem.
Tons of features from Goby racks. In fact, a lot of them are patented. So what are some of the things we can find here we can't find anywhere else, David?
Yeah, we have multiple patents, one being the riser versus no riser. And so with the no riser, it's really good for the adventurer that doesn't want any obstructions. They're able to put plenty onto the roof rack. And then in case they have a sunroof, we have a welded mesh that goes across, can stop at that sunroof, or they can have those inserts like you see here. And each of those inserts, they can hold up to 165 pounds for their cargo capacity. And we also have the patented non-drill system because no one wants to be drilling into their vehicle, right?
No doubt about that.
So very smooth, very sharp looking. It's simple but elegant at the same time.
And there's tons of accessories too. It doesn't just stop with the racks for Goby.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the things I can get to put on my rack?
Yeah, well, we have the Goby standard crossbars, and that comes with every rack. And you can put a bike or kayak, snowboard, stuff like that. But we also have the upgrade option to where those can actually hold more weight, and they come in 2 different lengths, one 60 inches and another being 80 inches. So you can put multiple bikes up there, put 3 or 4 kayaks, canoe. So you're definitely able to get a lot more out of your travels with that upgraded option.
And a lot of folks are running accessories from Thule and Yakima and other companies like that. How compatible is a Goby rack with those?
Completely compatible. So you're able to put any accessories you want on it, like axes. You can have that awning like you mentioned, and also just road showers too. So plenty of things that you can bring for any type of adventure you're going on.
Well, Goby Rack says no place is out of reach, and it is true. You can find the Goby Rack for your vehicle at GobyRacks.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com when we come back, so stay tuned. And now, our weekly trivia question brought to you by the Shade Wagon. We'll have an answer for you later in the show, and remember, it's not fair if you look it up. That is cheating.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Shade Wagon studio.
All right, Motorheads, let's see how you did. It's the answer you've been waiting for. The answer to the trivia question brought to you by the Shade Wagon.
What if I told you you could check out the inside of your engine and pinpoint a problem without taking it apart? Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. It's all about running a cylinder leakage test, and this is going to tell you a lot of what's going on inside the engine. What can it tell you? Well, all kinds of stuff. You can tell if it's normal. You can tell if you have an intake valve not seated, an exhaust valve, worn piston rings, blown head gaskets, cracked or warped cylinders. All those things are going to be done with a cylinder leakage test. How do you do it, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple. We actually ran one right here. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and take out the coil, get that out of the way. Then what you want to do is take a little compressed air and blow it out, because you don't want any of that debris falling down into your cylinder. Go ahead and remove your spark plug, and then what you want to do is you want to take that cylinder to top dead center compression stroke. Why are you doing that? Well, you want both valves closed. Both valves need to be closed because you're going to inject air into there, and really you don't want it to go anywhere. So when it's at top dead center compression stroke, go ahead and hook up air pressure and dial it up a little bit. Start putting some air pressure into the cylinder. Now, 20% leakage, that may be normal because it's not firing and the rings aren't seating all the way, but if you have a ton of leakage, you can go check it. Listen to your throttle body. If you have air coming out of the throttle body, well, it's an intake valve. Go to your exhaust system. If you have exhaust air coming out with that air, well, you have an exhaust valve problem. You can actually check the coolant, make sure that it's nice and cool. If you have bubbles down there, you have a blown head gasket or a cracked cylinder going into the actual jacket. You can actually check the oil cap, pull it off, and you're feeling for air there. If you have air there, well, you're getting blow-by in the cylinder back into the crankcase. Not a good thing. Blow-by is a problem, and that's definitely a problem because you're contaminating the oil, but we also have some heat issues. AMSOIL has us covered with both those issues.
Yeah, when you start looking at those heat problems, you know, the heat of combustion, what it can do is it makes the oil oxidize. And if the oil isn't strong enough to handle that, oxidation means breakdown, essentially. So the oil breaks down into some sticky, varnishy substance that obviously can't lubricate, but what it does do really well is stick the rings. So if you don't have detergency built in, if your base oils aren't robust enough, you can actually stick the rings, make the problem way worse.
Also with the valves, I mean, we're talking about coking or oil that's not doing its job. We could stick to the valve and have one of those problems you just saw.
It's the same problem. The valves see a whole pile of heat just from heat sink action from the combustion chamber, and the oil needs to be able to handle that. The valve guides are lubricated with oil, so if you get that oil cooked or it's too hot in there or the oil just can't handle the task, it cokes up, it varnishes, it oxidizes, and it sticks the valve, creates a problem.
Well, I know one oil that sure can handle that task, and that's AMSOIL. You want to check out all their products, just go to AMSOIL.com.
My name's Joel Hawley, and this is my 1934 Ford Coupe, and I'm from Glenpool, Oklahoma. I was looking for a coupe. I've always been a big fan of coupes, and I went and met with this guy. His name is Billy Morris, and he lives in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. He could no longer drive it. Him and his wife really loved this car, and he wanted to go to a good home. The more I got to talking, not only did I fall in love with the car, but I fell in love with the story behind the car. One of the biggest things that really just captured my heart is he's a retired veteran. He served in all 4 branches of the military, and he built prosthetics for wounded warriors. He built this car on a hope and a dream. On top of that, he has Parkinson's. So he did everything to this car, clear down to the paint job. It's not perfect, but it's near and dear to me. It has fuel injection on it, heat and air and everything. So, I mean, it's comfortable to drive. He saw it about a month after we finished it and everything, and he was just smiling from ear to ear. He was riding around in his little scooter, you know, just smiling and asking questions and everything. So he knew it went to a good home.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. AP Laser, leading the way. And by Dynamite Diesel Products, fueling your passion.
Our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week is the son of a drag racing legend, and he's working on his own legend right now. It is nostalgia dragster driver Adam Sorokin. Now, Adam's late father was Hall of Famer Mike Sorokin. He was the driver for the famous Surfers, Top Fuel team of the 1960s. Adam started racing on his own in 1997. He won a California Funny Car title before moving to front-engine nostalgia dragsters in 2004. Now, Mike's taken home 2 championship titles in the dragsters, and he's still on the hunt for a third. He's a good bet to win. Adam Sorokin, great driver, great guy, and the PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. Now, your vehicle's battery, it gets charged through the alternator, which gets its power from the engine. And it only works if the engine is running. So if you've got a vehicle like a motorcycle, classic vehicle, your lawnmower, it sits a lot. And you've probably learned the hard way one time or two when you get in. It doesn't start up when you need it. So there are other maintainers and chargers out there, Kit. How are they different from what PulseTech does? You guys have a technology that's amazing.
You're exactly right. There are a ton of chargers out there and different options to charge your battery. What's different about PulseTech is in our name. We have a technology that is a pulse that we put 25,000 pulses per second into any liquid battery, and what it does is it dissolves the sulfates that are floating around in the liquid of your lead acid battery. And sulfates are the culprit of what kills about 80% of all dead batteries.
So are you telling me that if a battery's dead, if I perceive it to be dead, you can bring it back to life?
About 70% of the time. We actually have recovery chargers. And with a recovery charger, we find that we can bring back batteries that have been sitting in your barn for 2 years, and you thought it was dead, just forgot to throw it in the landfill. You can put it on one of our recovery chargers. About 70% of the time, we can clean the sulfates out of that battery, bring it back to its full capacity again, and put it back in your tractor or your car or whatever you're using it for.
What if I've got a car that just won't start, but I know the battery's still good? You've got some chargers over here.
Absolutely. So this is our XC400. It is a battery charger that's good for any 12-volt lead acid battery. Like every other product you see here on the table, not only is it charging your battery, but it's also pulsing your battery. And by doing that, we say that you're going to extend the life of your battery up to 3 times. So if you're getting 3 years out of a current car battery, we say that by using our technology, you're going to get 9 years now out of that battery, or up to 9 years.
Save you a lot of heartache, save you a lot of money.
Absolutely. For a product that costs less than half of a cost of a regular car battery, you can't beat it.
And you've got a new unit here for folks that have a lithium-ion battery.
Yeah, this is
or any type of battery.
Yeah, 6-volt, 12-volt, and a lithium-ion. Such a cool product. We're just now getting ready to release this one, and it's a smart charger. So if, let's say you don't even know what kind of battery, you don't know if you've got a 6 or a 12-volt. Sometimes I get confused. Once you connect that to that battery, that charger recognizes that and says, hey, that's a 6-volt battery. This is how I need to charge it. Again, same technology. It's charging and it's pulsing.
What if folks tell you it's going to be awfully expensive to buy one of these for each of these vehicles I have in my garage?
Right, we got a great solution for that. It's called our Quad Link. So with our XC400 or XC450, a simple SAE connector will go into this Quad Link. This can actually charge 4 batteries at the same time. And the way that works is, let's say we have 4 batteries. We've got your Audi, your riding mower, 51 Ford, and a motorcycle. They're all connected at the same time. This charger will charge 15 minutes on the first battery. It'll move to the second battery, 15 minutes, and it'll rotate and keep doing that and make sure that all 4 batteries are fully charged and, again, pulsed and conditioned.
This is the Power Pulse, and how does that work?
It's one of the coolest things we sell, in my opinion. This little module, it's as simple as connecting a negative and a positive onto your battery, setting this beside the battery, gluing it to the top of the battery, whatever you want to do. This thing does the same thing all the chargers do by pulsing the battery and conditioning it. This is not a charger or a maintainer, it's only a conditioner, but it's fantastic. If you put this on a brand new battery that's supposed to be a 4-year battery, we're telling you're going to get up to 12 years life out of that battery by putting this simple $40 Power Pulse on it.
I see you've got a couple solar panels here.
Yes.
That's another way to maintain the battery. How do those work?
These are a fantastic product. Same thing, they're not chargers, they're maintainers. So they're to go on a good battery. But let's say you've got a a boat that you keep outside and you're not able to run an extension cord out to it. You can put this on there, connect it to the battery, it'll maintain it. But what really makes our solar panels different is this is a ruggedized solar panel. Try doing that with any other solar panel on the market. We're going to have glass all over, so we're going to have to sweep up and get started over again. With this panel, that doesn't happen. It's indestructible, has a 10-year warranty, and again, it's got the same pulse technology that you see on everything else here on the table.
All this technology is incredible, and you don't have to just believe KITT. You can believe the military. They're using these things. I see you have a pallet charger there. You've told me some stories about that. How does it work?
We actually had a case at Camp Arif in Kuwait a few years back where they think they had 15 to 20,000 12-volt batteries sitting on pallets. Asked us to come in there and see what we could do to recover them. Within less than a year, we saved the U.S. military $7 million in batteries by recovering batteries that they thought were dead, bringing them back to life and put them right back into their equipment.
PulseTech's been around for 30 years. They're a U.S.-based company. They're military tested, military trusted, and you can find all this technology at pulsetech.com. And oh, by the way, if you order there, use your discount code MOTORHEAD. You get a limited time 20% discount just because you watch the show. We're going to bring this one into the station. We thank you for joining us for this edition of Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. We will see you in 7 days. So long.